You don't know me. No?
The second mouse gets the cheese. I'm here to thank you. You gave me the greatest gift that anybody's ever given me. Desperation.
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out what happened to the first mouse.
Do the voice.
Oh, very well.
And you'll never see me coming.
Oh! I told you! You have the wrong guy. Does he look like he can fight? Come on, bro.
Gonna drive my long steel missile down on your love channel. Deep, deep, you'll beg for more. Raising hell and serpent score. Feel me, feel me. Now, what does that mean to you? To me, it means nothing but a sexual act.
Then who's causing this?
Well, you are.
How?
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by JEMS Art Studio. JEMS Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find JEMS Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/JEMS Art Studio. This podcast is also brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
So yes, I didn't have a chance to see Shang-Chi, and I'm dying to hear about it, though.
Yes, so I'm going to spoil the whole thing, so it will be ruined for you. Don't worry, I got this covered for you.
Well, I'm still kind of collecting myself from that musical experience of Euphoria, so I might forget some of it.
But yeah, Shang-Chi, largely the beginning is all about Shang-Chi's father. I don't remember. I'm certain he's given a name at some point. He is not the Mandarin, though. They make a point of stressing that. He's not the Mandarin, but he is the guy with the 10 rings, which are essentially bracelets in this incarnation.
Okay.
And these bracelets, they give you eternal life, so he's like at least a couple thousands years old, I want to say. And the rings, like in the comic book, I remember them being kind of like Infinity Stones, where the rings each have their own power. Here, it seems like he can launch them at things, he can use them to jump really far, and he can use them to deflect stuff.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess so. But, yeah, he's just looking for power. He goes to this village, and the village is where he meets this woman, and they actually have this fight scene that's actually quite beautiful. It's really well done. And then she actually defeats him in the village. She's the first person to defeat him. And so they get married and they have kids. And that's when we get introduced to Shang-Chi. And of course, as you can probably guess, this guy with the 10 rings, who's only interested in power, has quite a bit of money. So we get introduced to Shang-Chi. This big old fancy car comes driving up. And we see a guy step out. And then we see Shang-Chi step up. And he's like, and he's wearing a valet outfit. He's like, hey, I'll take your car, sir.
Okay.
And yeah, so we're introduced to Shang-Chi. He goes by Sean. And he's in America and he has his friend Kate, I want to say, Awkwafina.
Okay. She's pretty funny.
Yeah, she does a good job here. She's actually a fairly good actress, I have to say.
She's really hilarious. Her show on Comedy Central is great.
But yeah, so I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they're just going around doing buddy stuff. I know that the parents want them to hook up, but they're just friends. And one thing I do appreciate about this movie is that never changes. They never hook up. They're just friends. They're literally just friends. They're literally.
That's good. I actually like that. That's really nice.
I appreciate that too. You don't need to do that. Yeah,
you don't. Not everything needs to have a love interest.
But yeah, they're just going around doing normal things, and then there's attack on the bus. And actually, I was able to find this clip, so I'll put it on, and you will hear it Very well, I'm certain.
我不想惹麻烦。
那就把项链交出来。
You have the wrong guy. Does he look like he can fight? Come on, bro.
Oh. Damn.
And he can't fight. He can't.
You okay?
Now, this fight is possibly the best fight in the movie.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Clev coming at you live on the bus. I actually did take a little bit of martial arts as a youth, so I'm gonna try and grade this fight as we're going.
All right, we don't need to watch the whole thing, but it's a cool little fight on the bus. It's one of the better fights in the movie. I actually wish there was more like that, but then we get his backstory. Essentially, I don't remember if we get this immediately, but it gets explored upon later. His mother was murdered, and his father asked him to take revenge, and he ran away. So he doesn't have any of his father's resources or anything. But before he ran away, his father did teach him all fighting techniques and all that stuff.
Okay.
So he's unbelievably good fighter. Which I believe is largely the comic book. My knowledge of the comic books is essentially Shang-Chi is kind of just like comic book Bruce Lee for the MCU or for Marvel.
Okay.
Marvel.
Okay.
So,
yeah, because that bus scene I've noticed a lot, and I'm assuming that they date it back with Chinese origin, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Because I've seen, I know that Jackie Chan is also from China or Hong Kong, but a lot of the fight style from that film, the jacket move, that's like a Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
movie.
That's straight from a Jackie Chan movie,
That's
right there.
Straight Jackie Chan. I
Yeah.
saw that. I was like, ooh, oh, okay. Pulling phone out. Did Jackie Chan coordinate the fights in that?
Yeah,
but but it's a similar style, and it's done a lot in those Chinese style kung fu films.
Yeah.
But that's all. That's one thing I picked up on. That's cool.
And it turns out he actually does win that fight, but those guys are there to seal a pendant around his neck, and he realizes at the end of the fight that it's gone. So I guess he does beat them up, but they get the pendant. So they win and he wins.
Well, I mean, he definitely was whooping that ass.
Yeah. Well, there's another guy that came up. There's this guy. It's the MCU, so there's a guy that comes up with only one arm, but the other arm is like a cyborg arm, and he just kind of put attachments into it. So, of course, he has swords and shit in it.
Yeah.
Comic book.
Yeah, where's Bucky when you need him?
Yeah. I need somebody with a fake arm.
Team. just connect the arm.
And yeah, it turns out these are pendants that were given to the children by their mother, and the father is now after them because the pendants will lead him to the village where he first met the mother. And that's the story we're going with. So he has to track down his sister, and he's able to track her down because she sent him a postcard. So he follows the postcard address, and he finds her, and she's running this fighting ring. And that's where we get the cameo from Abomination, and then we just get Abomination versus Wong for a couple moments where Wong wins, which is kind of cool.
Well, now is this is this the Mr. Orange Abomination?
This looks pretty much largely like the Abomination from Incredible Hulk, except there's more fins to him.
Okay.
Mr. Orange, is that what they called him in that movie?
No, that's Tim Roth. The actor who played him in that.
Oh,
but his
I got you.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I should have.
That's right, Reservoir Dogs, they all have color. It's been a while since I've seen Incredible Hulk, and even longer since I've seen Reservoir Dogs. It's a good one, though.
Worth the rewatch.
Yes. Yeah, probably. But yeah, so they tracks down the sister. Sister says, hey, I didn't send you a postcard. Why are you here? And of course, that's when the father's goons pop up, takes her pendant, and then takes them both hostage. And he's just there because the father wanted to make sure to bring him along. And you get some strong sexism from the father because he doesn't care really about the daughter. He sees the son as his heir, and the daughter is just kind of there.
Oh, from what I understand, that's a lot like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm certain.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's all about getting to this village. And while they're in the father's captivity, words are hard. But yeah, they're being held hostage by the father. They're looking around his place. And that's when they stumble across Trevor Slattery, of all people, who was supposed to be killed. But the father was so impressed by his acting, he essentially just kept him as kind of like, I don't want to say jester, because he just doesn't do goofy stuff, but essentially, yeah. He's just there to act upon the father's request at any time. And yeah, he's been there long enough that he actually has this weird creature that's with him. And he's actually shocked. Like, this creature, like, has no head or face and has, like, wings and, like, a furry body.
The fuck?
Yeah, no, it's fucked up. And he is completely shocked when Shang-Chi and his sister and Katie can see this creature. He's like, you can see it? You... I thought I was hallucinating.
No, we'll talk about hallucinating creatures later.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, so the Trevor Slattery guides them to how to get to the village, which is this weird forest maze they have to go through, which I get a little bit confused at, because the father wants to get there. Trevor Slattery apparently knows the way, but the father needs the gems to get there. It's almost like it's not a perfect movie.
Okay. Well, there's a few gaps in most stuff.
The only issue I would say is, like, the gap the father goes through seems to be a lot bigger, and he can take an army with him. Whereas the gap Trevor guides him through is super fucking small, and they can barely squeeze a car out of there, and it gets really damaged even. So maybe that's all the difference was. Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, they do establish how powerful this guy's supposed to be, so I don't know. Whatever. So anyways, they go to the village. They kind of teach him the ways of the village, like we saw earlier when the mom fought the dad. The mom uses lots of, like, wind abilities that the village apparently gives you, and they teach a lot of that to Shang-Chi. And they teach Katie some basic archery. I think they teach the Shang-Chi and the sister, now that I think about it. Yes, she goes through training too. So, the village is less sexist, so that's nice.
That's nice. That's nice.
But yeah, and then essentially the father comes, and there's this big fight. It comes down to Shang-Chi versus the father. At first, the father kind of kicks his ass and almost kills him, and then Shang-Chi awakens. As it was explained, there's a kind of like a protector that's kind of this dragon in the village. And there's also this demon dragon that was trapped behind a wall.
Okay.
I guess I'm jumping around a bit, because the reason the father's really desperate to get back to the village is because the mother is calling, because, she's dead, but he's getting the sense the mother's calling and she's behind this wall. And the truth is, this is the evil dragon calling to him to set it free. It's just a trick.
Well, yeah, manipulation tactics are usually done by demons.
No way. No, demons are so honest.
Well, no, I'm basing this solely off of the slew of possession films and how many times I've done my own analysis off The Exorcist.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Shang-Chi gets beaten up by the father, and he awakens the protector. And the father, in the meantime, is breaking down the wall. I believe he does break it down. And I feel like there's something big that I'm missing. And I'll probably get back to it when I'm reminded. But yeah, there ends up being a big fight among the dragons. And then there's a big fight between Shang-Chi and the father again. Only this time, in the middle of the fight, the father's throwing rings at Shang-Chi. And suddenly you see the rings start glowing a different color. And they start obeying Shang-Chi.
Okay.
And it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
All right.
So eventually, as the fight... I wish it was kind of... It's one thing I wish it was explained more, because they don't really explain why they start following him. It's kind of cool, but they don't really establish what's going on exactly with that, or that the father eventually wants to pass them down to him.
Well, the one thing I read about it was, or I read one article about this saying that some moviegoers were confusing some of the mythical creatures in that film for Pokemon.
I could get that.
But I mean, I kind of like when I first read that, and I go like, well, Shang-Chi's Chinese and Pokemon are Japanese, first of all. Yeah,
but that little hairy thing with wings and no face that Travis Larry thought was a hallucination totally could be a fucking Pokemon.
In the article, they had a picture of something. It looked like a to me, I could best describe it of if a llama were like a small poodle size with wings.
Okay.
Like a little long neck and a tiny little head thing that was all a little white, and it looked like a mini llama, like a little lap dog sized llama with wings and a tail.
Okay.
That's what the picture was
familiar that there's something like that.
It kind of, I was like, at first glance, I was like, oh, hey, it's a baby falcor.
Nice.
And then I looked closely and I was like, oh, that doesn't look like falcor at all.
But, eventually, superhero movie, they get into a big old fight, good guys win.
Yeah.
Overall, my thoughts on this movie is I like it, but I do get the sense I'm undergoing Marvel fatigue. Because I felt the same thing after watching Black Widow, where it's like, it's good, but it doesn't really stand out. Which is, like, I watched Iron Man 3 after this. And Iron Man 3 felt so much more refreshing just because it was Shane Black. And I feel like a lot of these movies, you don't have that. And obviously, there will be movies coming up where we will have that. Like, obviously, we're going to get Guardians 3. That's going to be James Gunn. We're going to get Thor 3, Taika Waititi. Doctor Strange 2 is probably going to have Sam Raimi all over
Sam
it.
motherfucking Raimi.
And I am on board for that. Yes.
Just Sam Raimi sold. In fact, I already rewatched the first one. Or I actually, when I got back, I watched Doctor Strange.
Well, even the first one, that had Scott Derrickson, which that one was Marvelized a bit, but it had some Marvel stuff. There are some horror ideas in it, which
there absolutely were. And what I think the best idea with, or I guess the best example I could use of this, how Marvel will still keep their thumbprint on it, absolutely, but they also allow the directors a lot of creative liberties, and really, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Captain America, the Winter Soldier, that one. There's parts of it where I feel like I'm watching like a political drama.
Yeah.
And there's other parts where I feel like I'm watching an espionage spy film.
Well,
and there were even parts of it where it kind of felt almost James Bondy at times.
I was thinking about that too, because lots of these movies, like Shang-Chi and Black Widow, have this kind of Marvelized, kind of almost, it's cool, but it's kind of bland feeling. And I think the Russos are often clumped in that group, and I don't think they belong there. Because all their movies have this distinct feel, and usually it's very, no matter how crazy what you're watching is, it usually feels very grounded, and they do a really good job with that.
And even with Civil War, the same thing. A lot of it felt like a political drama.
Yes.
And I mean, most of it was, in fact, that.
Yeah.
But it's still just like, I forgot I was watching a superhero film.
Yes, and it's easy with those movies. And essentially, what I'm getting at is Shang-Chi has some beautiful visuals. This isn't a bad movie. I'd probably rank it better than Black Widow. Take that with what you will. I think they established the guy isn't the Mandarin, so he even makes fun of the name. So we never get an MCU Mandarin. Whatever. I'm not really thrilled with what they do with the rings. I think the idea of turning into bracelets is cool. I think just deflecting and bouncing around with them is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Overall, I like this, but again, it's fine. Visually, it's great. Story-wise, And Don't worry, there's a post-credit scene where it establishes even though they do defeat the father actually does a hero sacrifice. Well, okay.
Yeah.
And then it establishes that the daughter takes over the 10 rings, so the 10 rings are still there, so... Okay. I'm not gonna lie, a little sick of it, but okay. Ready for Iron Man 4, I guess? I guess it'd be Ironheart. Yeah.
It'd be Ironheart next,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, because they did announce that.
Yeah, it's a Disney Plus thing, so maybe that's when it comes back.
Maybe.
Kind of okay if they move on and do something else, but okay. But
all right,
this is good.
That's Shang. No, okay. Well, Shang-Chi does seem like it's going to be a great film when I check it out. I mean, I love the martial arts stuff already, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, like I said, the bus fight's probably my favorite fight in the movie, because that one felt like actually kind of a martial arts thing, although I felt like there was still probably too many cuts in that. Like something like that, something like The Matrix, I thought had great martial arts scenes, because there's lots of long takes, and when it does a quick cut, it's usually just for like a move, and you can still clearly tell everything going on. Shang-Chi is not that well put together. That being said, it's not Wachowski's either. Oh, let's get Wachowski's to do a superhero movie.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel would probably not dig that, but I would. I want to go ahead and add some audio credits at the end here. The theme music you're hearing at the beginning and end of this podcast was written and performed by George Johnson, a very good friend of mine. And my current Patreons are Fel Martins, David Lara, and Lindsay Pankhurst. If you'd like to become a patron, go ahead and follow the link down below. Anything you can provide would be incredibly helpful to this channel. We're barely limping by right now. I'd love to make this my full-time job, but I'm miles away from that right now. So any help you could provide, just $1 a month would be amazing. You know you want to. All your friends are doing it.